Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. This is Maria Weaver with the Simplified Bookkeeper, where we are here to simplify and automate your bookkeeping so that you can save a ton of time and do other things other than accounting, which most people don't really like. So tune in, stay tuned, and you'll learn more about that. So I'm excited to kick off our new series. This series is all about developing a bookkeeping tech stack for your business. And there's two things you're going to walk away with from this video. The first thing we're going to take a deep dive into is what is a tech stack. So we'll explain that for future videos. And then the second thing we're going to do is do a deep dive into a virtual assistant business and how a virtual assistant might use a tech stack to help her with a part of her business that she is looking at. So if you want to learn about what a tech stack is, or you want to hear my recommendations on some apps that can really help you to save time around the financial area of your business, then stay tuned. That's where we're headed. All right, so the first thing we want to cover is what is a tech stack. So I want you to think of your business a little bit at a higher level than you probably think about it. You know, every day you're working in your business, you're maybe filling orders or you're talking to potential customers, but I want you to take a minute to stop and kind of look down on your business. And I want you to think about the high level flow. How does your business flow? You know, how do you get your customers? Do you have sales calls with your customers, or do you have an e-commerce business where you just have people go to, let's say, a Shopify site and purchase products? How do you bill for your customers? How do you receive payments from those customers? And then how do you do that ongoing? Is your business where you just sell one product at a time? Do you have recurring invoicing that you're having to do or recurring billing that you're doing? So I want you to think about your overall business model and how it works today. Well, a tech stack essentially is a set of apps that sit on top of your workflow, and they're going to help you to facilitate and simplify your workflow, basically what you're trying to do. So for example, you don't have to, if you're an e-commerce seller, you don't have to write down on a piece of paper or in an Excel spreadsheet every single order you get, right? Because Shopify provides you that information. So just like Shopify is an app that helps us to allow e-commerce to happen, this tech stack is a set of apps that can help you with your business. And think of a tech stack as very different than an app, because a tech stack is really something that's going to work well, multiples or multiple apps working well together in order to help you have a more efficient business. And I'll tell you, one of the things that got me curious to do this video series is I see a lot of my clients have all of these apps, but they don't necessarily work together. And sometimes they feel like the work is more because they have these apps. Does that make sense? And so that's what I find a lot of times is you use an app over here and you use an app over here, but then now we have to do, process C because A and B don't know about each other. So in this series, the whole goal is to look at specific examples of how you can use apps that work together to save you time with your bookkeeping and with your finance. So if you want more information on what a tech stack is, just ask any questions in the comments below and I'm happy to answer even more. So in this example for today, what we're going to look at is a virtual assistant business. And specifically what we're going to look at is the process from the time that a client signs on and says, yes, I'm ready to be your client, through the onboarding of that client. And what are some apps that can help you really streamline that process? So let's dive in. The first thing that happens is you might have a Zoom call or a sales call with an individual, or you're having a DM over Instagram, but however it happens, somebody says yes, right? Those are so exciting when that happens. I want to work with you. In this case, you're going to be my virtual assistant, and I know you're going to help me tremendously get organized and get caught up on my emails. So there's a couple things that you have to do as the service provider or as the virtual assistant. You have to get some kind of paperwork done, right? So your process might be you have a proposal or you have an agreement or you have a contract that you need to get going on. So you need to create, we'll call it a document. You also need to get a signature on the document. You need to get paid for the work that you're going to do. And then lastly, you need to onboard the client. You need to get them going. And so a lot of times what I'll see in this in this process is there's all these different apps that people are using, but it doesn't have to be that complicated. I'm going to give you an example of just two apps that you can use to do this entire thing. So let's look at the beginning. So let's say that they say, yes, I'm ready to get started. I can't wait. What's my next step? The next step for you could be using PandaDoc, and I think this app is amazing for many reasons. But what PandaDoc is it's a place for you to create documents. And the one thing I like about PandaDoc is out of the box, they have a ton of templates that you can choose from. So instead of creating a document over and over and over in like Google Docs and spending hours of time on it, you can create a template either from one of PandaDoc's templates, or you can create your own document and then you can save that as your template and you can use it for further client agreements or documents moving forward. So that's just such an easy thing. Just the fact of being able to have a system that allows you to create templates is really huge. And they're really beautiful too. They look very professional. There's so many designs that you can choose from. And of course, if you're creative, then you can certainly make up your own design, but it looks so nice and so professional. The other nice thing that I like about PandaDoc is that in one fell swoop, you have on this document, you're able to obtain a signature. So you can do an e-signature, but you can also require payment at the time of signature. And in future videos, we'll talk more about this, but I'm a big believer in getting payment upfront for your services. So as an accounting firm, we typically will bill a week ahead. So let's say that it's the month of October, then I'm typically billing in October for November services. Let's say that you have you bill hourly, then you might want to think about billing a retainer up front for a certain number of hours that you know you're going to need. So let's say as a virtual assistant, they have picked a package that's a 10-hour a month package. And so you want to go ahead and bill that 10 hours ahead of time. So using PandaDoc, you're going to be able to get a signature. You're also going to be able to require payment. So then you can request payment at the time of the signature, and there's a way in PandaDoc that you can set up that payment to whatever payment processor that you want to use. So I like Stripe. I think Stripe is a great payment processor. One reason I like Stripe is that I can go into Stripe after that initial document has been signed, and I can automatically make an adjustment to make sure that that payment is going to be recurring. And so if you do a business like that where you have recurring services at the same amount, then you can go into Stripe and do that. And so that's one app. I mean, PandaDoc allows you to do the documents, and it also allows you to collect payment, which just streamlines everything. And the other nice thing is that if you use QuickBooks or you use FreshBooks, you don't have to do the invoicing because you've already invoiced for at least that first payment through the PandaDoc app. So the last step in the process is onboarding the client. And this one is a tad more advanced of an app, but it's not that complicated. I taught myself how to use this, so I promise it's not hard to use. But there's an app called Zapier. So I want you to imagine that if you like this app over here that's super cool, but you also like this other app, through Zapier, you more than likely can get those apps to talk to one another. And so it's really important when you have this agreement signed that you have this new information go somewhere, right? So in the case of a virtual assistant business, I need to put that information somewhere. So let's say that Jane Smith is my new customer. I need to have her somewhere where I know what I'm doing for Jane Smith every month, let's say. And so with Zapier, you're able to connect your PandaDoc to a project management system or the place that you keep that information. So in the case of our firm, we use ClickUp. And so I would be able to design a Zap, they call it, to when an agreement is signed, I can automatically have a client added to ClickUp. And not only can I do just a client name, but I can also have the onboarding tasks already load. So even if someone is signing an agreement at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm not thinking about that agreement, then when I get to work the next day, I can see in ClickUp that a new client has already been put in and my onboarding tasks have already been assigned to my virtual assistant and I didn't have to do the work. So that's the beauty of a tech stack, is that if you think about what your process is, then you can apply the right pieces of technology where it makes sense to help you simplify and streamline your business. So before we end, I have a piece of homework. I want you to think about the workflow for your business, and I want you to kind of write this out, and I want you to ask yourself, what are the top 3 areas that I really need help? And I want you to list out your top area in the comments below. I would love to hear, what is the biggest area that you are struggling with in your business finance? Or it could even be marketing or something else. But because our channel is a simplified bookkeeper, if there's something specifically you're struggling with the financial area, I'd love to see your comment. And also below, you're going to find links to all kinds of things. I have some of my recommended apps in the notes below, and also you're able to book a consult with us, because even though we're out here on the internet, we love working one-on-one with people. So feel free to book a consult with us for anything. If you want to talk about what accounting system is best for you, if you want to talk about, a particular problem that you're having with your accounting, or anything at all, we would love to talk with you. So I'm so excited you are here for this video, and I can't wait. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.